Michael, have you considered the positions that Yakubian Venezuelans actually should be oppressed? Just trying to get you guys thinking about ideas. I've certainly, especially when I see Joanna Hausman, when you see Joanna Hausman, I think you could read certain policies by certain governments in different light. That's all I'll say. I mean, like when Castro first came to power, as an example. We're just like
infrastructure, no bumps in the road.
Keep it simple. Yeah. It's like, hey, how about everybody's life savings get stripped? You know, like Chavez was actually super patient. Like, hey, go to US, go to Harvard. I mean, at this point, honestly, how the fuck is Guaido not in jail?
Like, I know, it's amazing, right?
Seriously, like you talk about, like Maduro is supposedly so brutal.
Right.
This motherfucker is on Periscope every week. You couldn't do that in the United States without any foreign backing.
So I have family in Venezuela, and recently they were able to come to the States, and then they couldn't stay. So they ended up going back, but I asked a bunch of questions. And so their perspective is really important to me because there's so much propaganda right now. And so they say, look, we are suffering. Right. We are hungry. There is poverty. There's no question about it. But they actually push back because I referred to Maduro as a dictator.
Yes. And
they push back against it. And I've said it. I've said dictator on TYT. And I actually have to get back to this discussion and retract it because based on their perspective, no, he's not a dictator, but his policies are failing us and people want him out.
Right.
You know,
so that's a big distinction.
It is a big distinction, and I'm glad that they told me that, and
right.
I need to, you know, make that correction on our show. But the one thing that I will say is I don't think, look, I hear progressives when they're skeptical of the storyline regarding the hunger and the poverty and all of that. I hear you because we've been lied to and there's been so much propaganda throughout our history in regard to what other nations are going through. But at the same time, in this context, it does not make sense to minimize the suffering of Venezuelans. That doesn't mean you support regime change. That doesn't mean that you're in favor of any type of military intervention. But I don't think you're doing yourself any favors by pretending as if things are great for
Why
the
don't
people
you
of
leverage
Venezuela.
it for Rokana? Yes, there's a lot of suffering, so lift sanctions.
Yeah.
Period. Stop waging economic war. And then we'll disaggregate between what is the responsibility of the Venezuelan government versus the responsibility of the United States. Perfect. Yeah. There's the solution. What was it, Bill Maher? Like we were doing pro-Maduro Bill Maher. Oh my Remember how he would do those
these people
who go on Periscope, they think they can start a coup. Okay.
They go stand next to our air bases pretending like they own the place.
Yeah. Maybe what Nicolas Maduro needs to do is stop listening to the Grateful Dead and eating empanadas.
And put Guaido in prison.
And put Guaido in jail, okay? It was maybe funny when he was a speed freak with a motorcycle. But this is serious. This is a coup. You know, maybe I'm a pot guy. That's like everything.
But Guaido, not chill.
Yeah, Guaido, not chill. Maybe Maduro, maybe he's too chill. You know how he kind of gets poignant? It's like, maybe he should put down the pipe and drink some whiskey because Guaido, and then we need to find it, like button it with some type of like Anna Nicole Smith reference or something, like People magazine circa 1997. Because Guaido is more unstable than Anna Nicole Smith at her lawyer's house on a bender. Okay, I'll be in Caracas next week.
By the way, recently I don't remember who he had on his show. I know Zerlina Maxwell was on the show.
Oh, Lord.
And but she wasn't the problem in the segment that I saw. Bill Maher was the problem. He was complaining about taxes. Which was honestly a departure from the Bill Maher that I remember.
Yeah, I thought that was like the one thing he was actually pretty good on, was sort of getting inequality.
Well, he was talking about taxes in the context of someone like Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren winning. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, it sounded like he was panicky about it.
It's going to be a lot, okay? You've just watched a Michael Brooks show video, and you can watch all of our full main live shows every Tuesday night at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and subscribe to get all of the clips you want. We're covering the globe. We're focusing on international relations, the intellectual dark web. We're having fun. We're doing deep dives with a lot of amazing guests. Of course, become a patron for the whole thing at patreon.com/TMBS, or subscribe to this YouTube channel and help us keep growing and get that content out there. Subscribe below.